not any particular message besides the fact that you're approaching a big part of your year, and there's going to be a ramp up of sightings of our ships and other ships as well. So besides that, we're only here to answer questions and answers, since this is also a big part of your um, moment in history where everything will completely change. And we are here to abide by what you give the permission. When you're here, we're here to abide by whatever you answer. As today will be just for a Q&A, will be particular for this, for I have shared many things about the idea of contact and communication and as there's going on, but the answers will come through you. So you may open up with questions and answers.
Okay, questions and answers are coming. Who are we speaking with?
Akasa.
Akasa, how you doing, Akasa? You know, Ray made a goal. He just scored. Akasa, as we're approaching next year, it has been said by many that there are many portals that are open, including the next level of contact. Not open for the wideness of humanity, but more available contact for those that are there, capable of connecting. What can you tell us about that?
Are you referring to more physical or non-physical forms of contact?
I would start with the non-physical and things that come into our periphery of our vision, perhaps.
Dreams?
Dreams and awakened states in which we actually may see something quickly appear.
Dreams, waking states will be also depending on the person's frequency and whether they're ready to handle certain levels of contact without being overwhelmed. But yes, it will come through dreams and the waking, and possibly sometimes visions, depending on the person.
But there'll be heightened activity in that sense, availability for people that have raised their vibration and are.
There will be heightened activity, yes, and there will also be activity for those for the unexpected.
That will be thrilling to find out about the unexpected. Okay, we got some questions. Christiana Anna, please.
Hello, Akasa.
Hello.
You mentioned that there will be more sightings of ships. And up
yes,
to now,
this has already been confirmed.
That's fabulous. I was just wondering, all the ships I've seen up to now were like little stars floating, which is really nice. But
Mhm.
I was wondering, will you come any closer so that we see more of your ships?
Well, there will be more clear sightings in 2026.
Good, thank you.
And thank you very much, Akasa. Appreciate your energy and coming back to us again. And you are coming through quite clearly. Appreciate that as well. I
Mhm.
was curious. I know that there are quite a few of the extraterrestrials who still consume nutrients, and that we will be growing some of those plant-based items for extraterrestrials. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Plant-based nutrients for extraterrestrials, is that what you said?
Yes, because I don't believe that any of the ones, in my understanding, any of the ones who are coming after open contact will be consuming meat substances. So I know they will all be.
No, we do not. But we do consume plant-based foods depending on the ingredients that are in them.
Okay, can you expand on that and how which ones we might be growing?
Mostly all natural.
So would those be things that we currently grow now?
Depending on if they have any without pesticides, any without chemicals, just basically certain particular foods that are more vibrationally compatible with certain frequencies.
Okay, can you name any specifics on that?
Mm, more. It also depends. Let's see. One of them that's coming to mind is tomatoes.
Okay, I just want to make sure that I'm growing the right thing. So if you come over, I can be a good host. Thank you.
Yeah, it's mostly those that are more particular. Tomatoes. There are certain types of foods that usually anything that's usually it's not really usually it's usually any food that's grown is what's acceptable is what we meant.
Okay, so we'll just stop by Trader Joe's and you can pick what you need.
Hmm. Any food that's grown. Okay.
Thank you.
Angie, please.
Hi, Akasa. Nice to meet you. Um, I am still thinking about what you said about the sightings for 2026. I was wondering if it has been decided in what locations, perhaps, like these sightings might be taking place. Um,
Well,
and
more well, technically sightings are happening all the time, but the sightings will increase and they'll happen in places that are unexpected. So they might actually happen in places that you normally think they would not happen.
Okay, so not necessarily highly populated places and um
No, there will be mass sightings. That will also be for the collective.
oh, and but you're talking about on a personal level.
Well, we're talking about both.
Both. Okay, both. So, but there aren't certain regions of the globe that, if we lived near those areas, we could keep an eye out kind of thing.
Hmm. Usually there will be more traffic in 2026. It'll be kind of like it's kind of be like a highway.
Hmm. Okay,
It's
so
it's gonna be a fun year.
no designated or decided upon locations as of now. It's just going to be kind of everywhere.
Yeah, there will be multiple locations, so there won't be any need to give you any specific locations for at least sightings of the craft, since they'll happen more often and in more places than normally.
Okay, thank you.
Hmm.
So I have a question about the hybrid children streams that are being born as humans, the new children, so to speak. They seem to be highly infused with the hybrid energies. Can you expand on that?
The hybrid children you're talking about?
Hybrid children, human children that are being born, seem to have a lot of hybrid stream energies in them. They're far more advanced than they used to be. Let's put it that way.
That's normal. For you need to be more advanced in order to handle higher frequencies.
So are you saying that that's the case? The children that are being born on Earth?
They're part of the future, so in that way, yes.
Okay. Thank you. Ray, please.
Yeah. Akasa, what do you do for fun?
Hmm, what do I do for fun? Hmm. Well, multiple things. Um, I do meditate in a park-like area on the mothership. Hmm. What I do for my particular job is actually fun to me.
And that's as a communication specialist or coordinator, is that correct?
Universal translator.
Thank you. I appreciate that correction. Wonderful.
Anita.
Hello, Akasa. I'm happy to have this interaction with you. Thank you.
Mhm.
I have a question similar to what Luis had asked about children being born at this time. I have a number of grandchildren. The youngest is twins that are 9 months old.
Mhm.
I'm wondering, I have a question about how is the best way that I could help them in these changing times? How can I help in raising their vibration? Or, you know, I've just been concentrating on myself, becoming more aware, raising my vibration, meditating. But how can I also help my grandchildren?
By not forcing anything upon them and letting them be their true natural self.
So forcing something upon them, do you mean as, a career? Or I mean, they're too little for that, but
We're talking about beliefs.
doctoring?
We're basically talking about beliefs.
Oh, okay. Beliefs, such as, religion or
Any fear-based beliefs, just keep it open to all possibilities and do not close anything off. For they also have to learn themselves. Well, also you can guide them, but not like most of the culture's done, which is force those beliefs upon their kids.
with you.
Not where we were just clarifying, not that way. It's mostly just guiding them, but letting them also make decisions and learn learn lessons from what they need to do.
I have older ones that are 6 years old and 9 years old. Is that too young to talk about extraterrestrials?
No. If they have cognitive function and stuff like that, which it can also be dependent on the child, but it also says that kids that age are more open than the ones that are more closed off.
Mm-hmm.
So it could still work based on that.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm going to have a follow-up question to Anita. My observation with my 20-month-old grandson who lives with me is that he sees ships in the sky. My observation is that, of course, he also sees and interacts with fairies, even in the house. We got many in the house.
Mm-hmm.
We got some brownies, if you know what I'm talking about. But there's fairies for sure. He interacts with them. My observation is that he looks often at the ceilings and he interacts with maybe other things that are not fairies. He jiggles in the same way that he jiggles with me when I touch his little feet, for example. And there's something very fascinating about his eye focus, basically. And he'll point, he'll, not all the time, but he'll point. His smile tells most of the story, for sure. So, of course, I'm going to keep him open. I'm talking about things like fairies at this stage of the game, but soon intend to introduce him to other things. But what can you tell me about, this seems to be a very innate connection that maybe all children had them in some good measure, but that now it's just amplified, absolutely amplified.
What was the question?
Let's see. I'm going to restructure the question. It's as much clarity
There
as I
was
can
no
give.
clarification on the question in that.
Yeah, I am going to. Okay. What I want to know is, these children seem to have the ability to see and be completely at ease with what they're seeing. They're interacting emotionally with what they're seeing in the skies. So what can you tell me about why is that? And what do I need to understand to keep fomenting it, keep maintaining them in that, so that connection is strong?
By not downplaying it, keeping that idea open to them.
Yeah, I believe me, I will not downplay it.
We are aware of that.
Yeah. So contour the answer towards me. What would you tell me that I could do to enhance them?
Be yourself.
Yeah, thank you. I do that.
It's mostly about being open to it. It's not about needing to particularly do one thing. It's also about letting it happen.
I'll tell you what I do. You guys have seen Ray channel the hybrid children. See all those jiggles and all that kind of stuff? That comes out of me when I'm with my grandson. And we have laughing and jiggle sessions. There's nothing funny happening except that we are jiggling and we are doing the whatever. Okay. Anyway, thank you.
You're very welcome.
So who do we have that still would like to ask a question?
Oh, me
Ray,
and then Angie again.
Ray and Angie.
Yes.
That's right. Ray.
I know as part of your translator, you are working with humans and cetaceans so we can communicate with other non-human species on Earth, and that's in a vocalization. Are there other, what we would consider animal consciousness besides the cetaceans that you're working on so humans can connect with them in a vocal way?
Just in some work on the idea of the particular feline particulars.
Cool. Are the Lyrans involved with that as well, I assume?
Yes.
That makes sense. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that, Akasa.
Angie.
Okay, so I was just curious. Is Travis part of your star family? It's my understanding that a lot of even the Taygetans especially are here kind of keeping tabs on their star family members that are down here in incarnations. Is he one of them and that's why you're working through him? And also maybe is anyone else in this group that you can sense? Maybe that's what led you and Travis to this group. Anything along those lines?
I'm connected to the channel's counterpart in a sense of a connection there. So in a way, yes, I am connected to the channel's star family, but in a particularly different way than how it would mostly be related to certain other aspects.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else?
When you get to Earth, would you plan on having any pets?
We don't have a need for pets. So why would we?
Just for an experience. Are there any experiences that you look forward to having once you get to Earth and interact with humans?
Interacting with humans, animals, and maybe cats, but I'm not gonna look for having a pet, but I will interact with the animals of Earth.
Cool. So whatever animals attract you with their frequency, you will just naturally respond.
Well, either that or the animal decides to come towards me, since animals can also be attracted to our frequency.
Excellent. Thank you. Angie?
You guys are physical, is that correct?
Yes.
So that means you are on a ship of some sort in our orbit, is that right?
Yeah. For me, right now I'm above a particular area, but I do travel between. I do go back to my mothership every now and then, which is a mothership currently is on the dark side of the moon, but the ship I'm on currently on is above forest in Massachusetts.
Oh, that's interesting. Is that near where Travis is? Is that why?
It's relatively close. Maybe not like the nearest, not walking distance, but it's relatively there.
So it's high up though in the atmosphere, right? You're kind of like
Well,
in
relatively, yes. Not really there. I can see the clouds, but I also can see the trees at the same time.
Oh, you can see the trees, so you're pretty low. So that means you're cloaked. Is that right? Or you're just literally of a frequency we can't perceive?
Well, relatively. I'm literally. Also dependent on what is needed for. We don't really reveal ourselves, because to humans we can be perceived as invisible, for for that's only dependent on whether we decide to allow ourselves to be shielded. So in a way, it's like a cloak, but it's not. But it's also at the same time a different frequency. It's like, say, a frequency cloak.
So if we raised our vibration, we'd be able to perceive you? Is that what you mean?
Yes, but it's also if it's allowed on both ends, so it has to be from our end as well
Mm.
as your end.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So it's more to it than just frequency. Okay, great. Thank you.
Arthur, please.
May I ask you, what do you perceive from the whales when you interact with whales? What kind of information do you get?
What kind of information do I perceive?
Yeah, when you interact with whales.
When I interact with whales? Mostly I perceive a stream of energy that comes from the whales, so we can basically perceive like a blue auric style field around those whales.
Thank you.
Ray, go ahead.
That's very intriguing to me because whales are soul groups of dolphins, in my understanding, per Bashar.
And connected to Sirius, we know.
Yes. So if we connect with whales, would we be able to connect with the spirits of dolphins as well? Or is that what we are doing when we connect with whales?
Connecting with a certain frequency will allow you to connect with the collective sense. they're more collective based than individual based in that way.
Okay, because the hybrid children told me that their energy signature is much larger than their physical forms, which they have on Earth. I found that very interesting.
Yes, it is. They're a very technically that is because they're on a much higher frequency than you. It's just that they have better control, so they know to not overwhelm you.
Sweet. Are we going to be able to connect with other aquatic species like octopus or other things like that? I find that very interesting.
Octopus? Define. You're talking about off-world species or?
No, I'm talking about Earth-based species, the octopus or octopi.
Yes, you will be able to connect with multiple different types of sea life, animals, and stuff like that on a different field than you normally as when your eyesight when you raise your frequency, your vision will improve to allow you to see the fields and auras of any animals you see. Well, like having some type of new style vision.
Excellent. That is new information and something to look forward to. What ET races are associated with the octopi?
Mm, hmm. Well, hmm. Seems like that species might be a little bit out of your frequency range, but they are more exotic.
I'll say. That's why I
But
was curious.
yes, curiosity. We understand, and it's an exotic race that may be sea-like, but may be far from your humanoid features. That's literally like more of an exotic life form.
Yeah, because octopi are so different than any other life form that's physical on our planet. So I was curious which extraterrestrials may be involved in that.
Well, extraterrestrials that maybe evolve are ones that you don't know and are and are more in the exotic variety rather than the rather than the variety that you're used to.
That makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else? Well, Kasha, it seems like we don't have any more questions. Thank you.
No. Yeah, well, then we send you our good days and enjoy the rest of your year, for there will be a lot more unexpected. And the reason we're just leaving it open is because there is there is more to come in the new year than there is at this time. So enjoy your silence and the silence within. For what Bashar said, the silent season, well, it's not wrong. There's a reason why you have seen a lack of interaction during certain aspects that involve physical sightings now than you have before, because there's something gonna be happening like in the near future. So we send you our farewell for now. Pateo. Good day.
Mateo.
Patel. Thank you.
Okay, that was a little bit hard to maintain.
You
Well,
okay?
you did a wonderful job.
Well,
Thank
no,
you, Travis.
no. Eh, I don't know. For some reason, I was a lot more stronger than Cheryl last time. I feel like Akasa's the strongest connection. Like when it comes to her energy, it becomes more readily connective.
I hope we get to meet her in person. I know
Uh,
you will.
oh yeah, but meeting her in person, me she's definitely of a more lighter frequency. She seemed more empathic, and she's connected to. And her being a universal translator means she's connected more on a telepathic scale, which probably makes a reason why she was able to connect with me more deeply, because of because of the way she does it compared to Cheryl. But they're all different. But
Cheryl came very strong the last session, the 14th. Yeah,
well.
it's very profound
And
as well.
I'm not saying she didn't come strong for you guys. I'm saying the way I felt.
Sure.
And basically it could be different both ways. And yes, it can happen differently for whichever being I channel. Sometimes the other people will feel it more than I. And sometimes I'll feel it more than other people. And then sometimes it'll be both ways.
You're very versatile.
What?
Did you?
Yeah, go ahead, Angie.
Did you guys say she was 5D or what? Like, how is she compared to us, physically wise, and what density wise?
Physically, comparably similar. Comparably, the skin color of her is well, it's clearer than mine, but it's actually around the same tone, just in a much clearer way. She is physically attractive, long light brown hair.
So is she more?
Wait,
is she more?
what?
Is she more physical than, let's say, the Sasani, or like
Yes,
is she's
yes.
so she's 3D, but just not in the matrix? Is that kind of how it was?
She's full. They would be classified as fourth dimensional on a more fourth on a more. They're on a more much. They're still on a higher frequency. They're just much more. They're just much more physicalized than the Sasani are compared to us.
Okay. So they're definitely not 5D yet. They're still in between us and 5D, somewhere in there.
Well, yeah, well, the Sasani are relatively on quasi-physical, while they are still, they're close, but not on the quasi-physical yet. So basically, they're on the scale. They're on a scale that's on a much more physicalized. They're supposed to be the most similar to us for physical contact.
Mm-hmm.
So in that way, they have to be on a physicalized scale for that.
Yeah,
And not the same as Sasani.
yeah, that's the impression I got with it, especially the Taygetan Pleiadians, that they definitely are more physical. They're much more like us. They're just not influenced by all the Earth programming and
well, yes, they're on a different frequency. They're like a more advanced version of human.
Yeah. They'd be a lot happier, I would think.
Like what we would become in the future, kind of. They're like a representation of what we could become in the future.
yeah, but they have all the physical needs still. They still need to eat and sleep and all that jazz,
Well,
right?
yeah, it's just their sleeping it's just that the only difference is that they don't sleep as much as we do. So basically it's like they don't need as much sleep as they don't need to eat as much, but they still have those needs. Yes, but they're not as great as us. So they're probably on a much more advanced scale, but still physicalized.
That's great. Cool. Thank you.
Hmm.
One salad a day.
One
One
salad a day.
salad a day.
Yeah, yeah. They don't really need to eat. They don't really need to eat as. They don't really need to eat as much as us. So yeah, yeah. In retrospect, it would probably be one meal a day. Probably be lesser than the portions than a normal human portion of food.
We'll have to
Honestly,
get them some heirloom tomatoes.
I wonder if we really need to eat any more than that ourselves, or if it's just in our programming and our belief systems and everything
Well,
that.
You hit it.
some people just eat out. Some people eat out of stress, which I have done often. Some people have eaten. Some people's body burns off more energy because they're stressed, so that they end up hungry faster, and that's probably why people eat more than they should.
Yeah, but I mean, we've been raised to believe
So
that, 3 meals a day and all
right,
that
right.
jazz. So
Some
it
of it is
really,
the programming. People
yeah,
that do
Yeah, well,
some kind
that
of
part, yes.
fasting have discovered that they don't need to eat that frequently.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The intermittent fasting is just once a day is
Right.
totally fine.
Well, I have
And
done once or twice a day. I usually have skipped meals before. I just usually only eat. I just usually only eat at certain times and certain.
And Angie, if you remind me, I have some information from Ryoka about that,
Mm.
about how if we try to wean ourselves and put 10 to 12 hours between our meals, our bodies will actually learn to pull energy from the ether. And
Yeah.
he recommends getting to, so we go 16 hours
Mm-hmm.
between our meals, and that
Yep.
will actually give us a lighter body and a higher frequency resonance because every time we eat, that energy is pulled from our brain capacity, which is why we don't think as well when we're full.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Hmm.
and honestly, you'd just be healthier all around because after I think it's 12 to 14 hours, your body goes into that state of autophagy, where it designates all that energy that it's normally using to digest food to healing all the things around the body that need to be taken care of. So we would just be healthier all around too. Which makes you wonder, it's just part of our cultural conditioning. It keeps us not as healthy because we're constantly eating all the time and that energy never gets to go where it really needs to go. It's
Yeah,
interesting.
Golden Corral will go out of business after Open
Yeah,
Contact.
that's the other thing. That's why they're going to try to keep the programming in place and a few other places.
A few.
Yeah,
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 just a few. Just a
yeah,
few.
just a few. Even the supermarket chains are going to suffer. So just imagine, you know.
Supermarket chain.
Better than us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody would. The TV stations would suffer. They can't advertise so much of food because nobody's eating.
Mm-hmm.
It ripples. It ripples. What can I
Maybe
say?
we wouldn't have so much starvation and food insecurity. Food could be spread
We,
around and shared a little better.
yeah, I mean, the reason
Wow.
for starvation is human neglect of others. It's really why that happens, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one actually makes a lot of sense. Anyways.
Well, that's neat, Travis, that she's stationed so close to you.
I said close. I didn't. I
Well, not walking distance, but I mean, have you ever glanced at have you ever caught a glimpse of the ship?
I never been anywhere close to where she said her ship's position over, and I might want to, but
I wonder if you ask, probably some chip could appear just for you.
Mhm.
Right.
And the interesting thing about that is that they can make it happen so that there could be even more people around you, but they won't see it, but you will. It's amazing. It's just amazing.
Yeah, especially with what she said, where it has to be
it also
as long as
depends
they're
on
okay
what.
on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
That was really neat. I didn't realize that.
Interesting what she said at the very end, though, wasn't it? Just as we were signing off, leaving. She talked about interesting times in 2026 and how
Right.
everything's going to change. You know, right when we can't
I know.
ask any more
Ask more
questions.
questions.
Yeah. We're
I
gonna
was
keep
thinking
you
the
guys.
same thing.
Yeah.
We're trying to keep it, quiet here because you're gonna be very active next year.